Well, you may recall we've shown you Sarah Frei's challenges in the past. It was while she was in high school. She lost both of her legs in a car crash caused by a drunk driver. Since then, Sarah's moved away from home. She started school at Utah State University, and she's known for having a positive attitude. Fox 13 News reporter Sarah Murphy shows us how after a disagreement with parking enforcement, that attitude is being challenged.
So frustrating.
High emotions.
Yeah.
For 19-year-old Sarah Frei.
This is people's worst nightmare of being in a wheelchair.
That just breaks my heart. That's the first time I've heard her say that.
Sarah was visiting a friend's apartment complex, Millennial Towers, when the fire alarm went off. She was on the 5th floor.
We go to press the elevator button, but the elevators don't work when the fire alarms go off.
Sarah says first responders eventually told them it was a false alarm. She says her next concern was her car next door, parked in a lot that boots at midnight.
Sarah says the fire alarm went off at 11:40. She says around 5 minutes later at 11:45, they found out it was a false alarm and she called her dad. She told him she was concerned that her car parked next door might get booted because of strict parking schedules. At midnight, parking enforcement showed up, and at 12:02, they put a boot on Sarah's car. Around 2 minutes later, at 12:04, she says her friends showed up and tried to talk to the parking official. They say he did nothing.
The owner called me back. We said, if I show leniency to one person, then I have to show leniency for everybody, or it makes us look weak. And I just said, that is a bunch of hooey.
Parking Enforcement LLC turned down an on-camera interview, but owner Dennis Shaw says there are at least a dozen accessible parking spaces in Millennial Tower. She chose not to park in any of those. There were at least 6 accessible places in the property she parked on. She chose not to park in any of those. Had she parked in any of those 18 parking spots, she wouldn't have been booted. Sarah's dad disagreed.
She wasn't able to park in the handicap stalls in this parking lot because they were barricaded due to construction going on. She couldn't park in the handicap stalls in Millennial Towers because you need a permit.
With every bump, the Frei family says they're frustrated.
If I wasn't in a wheelchair, none of this would be an issue. If there is a legitimate reason that I physically can't get somewhere, accommodations need to be made.
But learning from the experience.
Live and learn, I think were her words. So she's amazing. She's continues to be such a positive role model in my life.
Sarah Murphy, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Wow. That'll get people talking. Sarah and her father say they're hoping to spread the word so parking enforcement will reevaluate their guidelines and policies in the future.